Hey everyone, welcome to a special episode of Invisible Walls. Marcus will be back and joining us tomorrow for a full endeavor and look at what happened with the PlayStation 4 PlayStation meeting thing. But for now, this is our quick reaction. We got Patrick, Justin, and Miguel. Yeah. So, what do you guys think?
Letter grade?
No letter grades. What flavor was this press conference?
Red. My favorite.
I'll go in an analog feeling. It's like around here.
Yeah, I mean, for a debut in particular.
Well, it's kind of weird that it didn't show the
actual
system, the hardware form factor. Yeah, that was kind of odd to me. I mean, did that ever happen?
Did that cause you to lose PlayStation bingo?
It that was the fucking the one piece I needed.
Is that what kind of stands out the most?
Yeah, I guess the thing that I wanted to see the most was like just all new stuff that we hadn't seen before, and I guess we did. I don't think that much of it appealed to me personally, but there was some interesting stuff. Obviously deep down is something that I think everybody in this room is kind of, we're inherently interested in that kind of shit.
Well, so. that was the only game that actually kind of looked like, a noticeable step further than what we're seeing now.
Yeah.
We were, to be fair, we were watching it streamed, so I mean, maybe we lost a little bit of it there. But I think in general, I mean, the Agnes philosophy demo we'd already seen before.
Yeah.
Right.
The Destiny stuff was a rehash from earlier this week.
The doc that they released.
That just reinforces the my hunch that a lot of the stuff we saw at E3 that was new, like Agni and like Watch Dogs.
And Star Wars.
Yeah, like a lot of that stuff was or is like next gen stuff that the publishers were just kind of wanting to show for a while, and they just hadn't had a chance to, and maybe that's why we're a little bit nonplussed about this stuff.
Well, also I feel a lot of the rumors ended up being true. The leaked controller and the video capabilities, the PlayStation 4 being more like a PC, it's running on x86 architecture. 8 gigs of RAM. Well, I think you said like you could build a $500 PC with some of those specs.
I mean, in fact, I built Patrick helped me build a $600 PC 2 years ago that has 8 gigs of RAM. Granted, I'm sure it's not the specific kind of RAM that is in this thing. I don't really know that shit, but
it's super RAM. Super RAM.
I mean, I think it's funny that like the Killzone. I thought Killzone had some moments, especially when like flying over the city. It looked nice, but Killzone went from being kind of the graphical poster child for the PlayStation 3 to the, I mean, in the end, maybe it's not the most beloved series out there, but now it's like, oh, okay. And I think there was a couple games missing in action here as well. But I guess it just opens up E3 to really, like, this was a peak, and E3 is going to be the real coming out party, like showing the hardware, explaining more of the nuts and bolts behind the Gaikai stuff.
Right.
So they did fill 2 hours though. I think that may be the issue. It was 2 hours, kind of stretched a little bit.
Yeah.
I personally liked when the Square Enix guy got up there and says, "Okay." After the second guy that comes up, he's like, "All right." That was really labored English. He's like, "We will say more stuff at E3. Thank you."
And it's funny because
I think I got on a plane and went over there and had to memorize a 3-minute English speech. It's like
he knew that he was going to roll out the bait and switch too, because he's like hurriedly bowing out, kind of sorry guys.
E3.
Yeah. Just think about how crazy people are to hear about the next Final Fantasy, and to just have that sort of be the tease that they're left to sort of hold on to until E3, man. People must be bummed. Like, where's Mike? What's Mike doing right now?
What are you talking about?
I mean, personally, was really surprised and thought it was awesome to see The Witness in action. I mean, that's only been behind. It was at PAX.
Exclusive now, apparently.
Oh, really? I missed that.
Well, it's an exclusive. I think Jonathan Blow said it's an exclusive. It's only going to come out for on consoles. It'll only be a PS4 game during the launch window.
Maybe on PC as well.
Yeah, during the launch window. So it sounds to me like it was left open that it might come to other consoles eventually. And didn't mention anything specific about PC either.
And good for Sony on mentioning Unfinished Swan and Journey, and having Jonathan Blow go up there and realize that this is actually a fundamental part of their new experience.
Right.
And I guess they did. The Uncharted team didn't do anything, but we did see Infamous, so and Killzone, so they did kind of roll back on some of that stuff.
Yeah.
I think especially after Kyle's video, maybe we were all still hoping for the Last Guardian.
Right.
And the recent rumors. I was way more interested in the games than the hardware, because I mean, in the end, we are going to be playing the games.
Right.
Did anyone feel very strongly about any of the hardware announcements? Again, a lot of the rumors just ended up being true, so it seems a little less
Yeah,
punch.
I mean, I guess there wasn't that much of a surprise left in store for a lot of that stuff, being true. But I did like how they extrapolated a little bit on the social stuff. I do like how it's not just having the last few minutes of what you're playing being available as like a shareable clip, but also being able to stream and add commentary. Like that's cool. Like I'm starting to dabble a little bit into that stuff at home, and it's really a lot of fun.
That seems really cool. The
Yeah.
way all that's gonna work.
And did you catch the bit where they were saying you could? I mean, a lot of people are freaking out, saying like, "Oh, now everyone's gonna be able to see what I'm seeing." Like, where the hell is the privacy in that? But
Right.
you could limit it
You
to
have
your
to-
friends.
You have to actually.
Yeah, I'd be
enable,
surprised if you
share
didn't
the
have the
stream the
ability
clip.
to
Yeah.
like shut that off completely if you wanted to, right? Like.
Yeah, you can limit it to your friends. And I thought I heard something too about is there going to be a function where they could actually patch in and take control of your game?
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
catch
Say like
that
Mike
too. So.
Damiani, please help me beat this.
Call the game
Revengeance
doctors.
I mean, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I imagine you'll
So-
be paying people to get platinum trophies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna, it's gonna open up some
Send
weirdo
you a PayPal.
cottage industry, right?
Yeah, it does sound like there's some weird stuff.
Well,
that
do you remember
happen.
when they used to have the PvP in WoW? They had the rankings.
Yeah.
And people would actually pay people to grind honor
Yeah.
in China. So that, I mean, yeah, you joke, but it could happen.
Oh, yeah, I totally.
Well, there are those services where you could pay somebody $25 to get you a bunch of achievements on Xbox, right? Like,
Really?
I haven't heard about that in a
Yeah.
while.
Talk-
But
talk
that,
to
that
Nick,
rings a
yeah.
bell.
it's a way to get your Xbox Live hacked, and
Oh, well, speaking of WoW, Diablo.
Oh, man.
yeah.
Oh, what other? Yeah, that was kind of like that. Everyone's like, "Oh no, it's gonna be Diablo. Oh, it's gonna be."
Yeah,
it
I
totally
mean that was like if you were reading, I was reading Twitter at that point, and like everybody was like, Diablo incoming. And sure enough,
Yeah.
you said earlier, and it's true. Like it's not the first Diablo to come out for a console, right?
Yeah, the PlayStation.
Although
version.
you know,
Like a
let's
DualShock.
not be completely cynical. They're
Yeah.
probably gonna try harder this time.
Well, as long as there's PvP,
Yeah.
Yeah,
which
so waiting,
still hasn't
right?
been patched.
Yeah. But do you think that's kind of them just opening the door for Titan?
It maybe.
Hope so.
I mean,
I mean, from what Chris Metzen was saying, they entered a deal with Sony. So, does that mean just for Diablo, or does that mean that, they have something down the line like Destiny? So
Yeah.
we'll see.
although just not to speculate too much on Blizzard stuff, but remember it is Activision Blizzard, and I guess the rumor or the scuttlebutt that we are kind of that we find most likely is that Titan is some kind of MMO FPS, like Is there room for a second one from Blizzard or from Activision? Like Bungie's already doing something along those lines, like.
Maybe they're two different planets and they can war against each
That'd
other.
be cool. Right?
Actually, it would be.
Let's talk more about Deep Down.
Deep down, dragons.
I mean, it looked great. I know, is that the one Brandon was arguing about if it was actually being played or not? It had like the
He's
UI.
like,
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not
it clearly
good.
wasn't being played. Like, I think, was Killzone the only thing there that somebody was playing on stage? I believe so, right?
yeah, they had that little kind of
And Watch Dogs was
sharing video
pre-rolled.
thing at the
Yeah.
end.
But Watch Dogs looked like, I mean, Watch Dogs had like VSync issues, so I'm assuming that was actually recorded.
Yeah, I mean, I take it on good faith that what they showed is like somebody actually playing it, because there, we saw a build, or I didn't see it personally, but there was a build at E3 that people were conducting demos with. So
So what did you think about Deep Down?
I thought it was cool. I mean, it's there are a lot of sort of little hints in that snippet that suggest to me that it's not so much a game about like killing giant dragons as it is about exploring. Like when they show the shot of the character from behind, he's wearing this big old backpack like packed with gear, like that suggests to me that traversing the environment and exploring it is like something that's going to be more involved than we typically associate with an RPG. The fact that it's called Deep Down, right? Like that's talking about, it suggests like a delve, like some kind of subterranean center of the earth style, like expedition. The fact that the adventurers all look kind of grody, you know what I mean? Like they didn't so much look like fighters. They would, I don't know, maybe more like scumbag treasure
That
seekers.
dude,
or
he
something.
did stab the dragon in the face.
It's true, yeah. He
got
was
him pretty
pretty.
good
He was
there.
pretty badass, but.
Do you think it could be a next-gen
Food.
Dragon's Dogma?
Blanca wanted food.
Well, they specifically said that it's a new
They
IP.
said it's a new IP. That's kind of.
But I mean, like, team-wise? I don't
Yeah,
know.
I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah, I mean, it
'Cause,
totally.
I mean, I didn't really have the pawn system, but the Blanca asking for help.
Yeah.
And stuff
Right,
like
wasn't
that.
there? You mentioned that there was some weird sort of like there was like a chopper sound in the background or something, right? Like, what's the deal?
Yeah, I mean, like it switched completely over into like that whole high-tech interface where it's like, help, I need, support down here. So, is that just hinting at multiplayer, or maybe is it even medieval at all? Is that some kind of like Assassin's Creed like
Oh,
Right,
no,
yeah,
I
yeah.
hope not, man.
thing? I
It,
don't know.
it might be. It might
Get
be.
off,
It you know, it
It's the
could.
Matrix.
That would be cool. I would like that actually. That'd be pretty weird, but it might also just be them talking about how it's going to interface with the social features. of
It's
the
a dot
Maybe,
hack.
yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's stupid. I'm already playing a fucking video game. Gosh, you know, I'm already one layer removed. You know.
Yo, dog, I heard you like video games.
Yeah,
Um,
that seemed really cool.
And it looked good.
Yeah.
And I guess Watch Dogs, I think we're all still somewhat enamored with it. I mean, you've been spending a lot of time thinking about Watch Dogs the past couple weeks. You did the really cool blueprint.
Yeah.
I mean, any thoughts after seeing the new demo?
Yeah, I mean, it's I guess a lot of the stuff that was hinted at in that first demo, we saw like in action. We saw how they're using the characters using his hacking capabilities to like foil cops by erecting those bollards in the middle of the street. The way he stopped a train in order to facilitate his escape. Yeah, it seems cool. I mean, that's certainly that was the other highlight in my opinion, next to Deep Down.
Yeah, good as Deep Down looks, I think Watch Dogs probably gives you the most realistic expectation of what a next-gen game might be, just because you're actually seeing it being played.
And it gets to some of the things we were kind of like, you kind of gloss over sometimes, but if you think about, as cool as the simulation layer of Watch Dogs, like, I mean, obviously they had this demo set up, but like, trains and transportation, I don't want everything to be scripted. I want to see the city and respond to it and not know I can always go through this the same way.
Right.
I know I was talking to Justin, and I'm a little worried about the multiplayer stuff. I'm wondering if it's going to be like the Infamous 2 kind of job creation stuff, where but an added layer for multiplayer, it's going to be like, get from point A to point B is my challenge, but if I spot you or you die, you lose. And I mean, that's not saying that's not cool, but when it's boiled down to something that simple, I hope there's more of a kind of a, a designer, that's not a player designer, but a designer actually creating these crazy, this crazy layered world where all these players can compete in. Not that there can't be user-generated content as well.
Sure. What I interpreted that from watching that is that this is just one sort of side quest that could emerge as you're just exploring the world, right? Like, all of these characters have this information embedded in them that you could read by scanning them.
Yeah, you think just you scan the victim and all of a sudden,
Yeah,
crime will arrange itself.
Yeah, you scan the victim, and if you interact with it in a certain way, then it'll just kind of unfurl because the game realizes that you're interested and you want to do it.
I wonder though, is that guy always going to take the same path, or you always,
Right.
is it going to be like, you didn't get on the train, mission failed?
Right. Yeah.
I don't
Sorry.
know. I'd want to see a little more.
That's, yeah. It's worrisome.
Not that I don't completely doubt that they have interesting
Yeah.
stuff going on, but in a way, it doesn't seem like the gameplay is necessarily going to. It's a new way of kind of doing stuff with the world, and you have a lot of influence over the world with your hexing abilities. But
Yeah.
I just I want to know a little more. I want to keep myself from getting too excited, right? About wow, I can go
Your
in this world and
influence.
do all this stuff, and catch a train whenever.
Yeah, like I'm sure you can do all that stuff, but I'm very skeptical of, how, dynamic it really all is. So, see.
His trench coat's pretty cool, though. Got
Did you
some
like that
physics
he-
on
The
it.
coat's better than the dude in it. And I hate that dude. I hope you can.
He's got a silly
maybe
hat.
different characters or something. I don't know.
Well,
we'll
the
see.
multiplayer, yeah,
There's
probably.
probably a lot to find out about the game.
Any final thoughts before we talk about this again tomorrow?
Yeah. I mean, I'm suitably excited. I think the controller looks cool. I guess I wish we would have seen the form factor. For some stupid reason that I like seeing that stuff. It makes me, it kind of makes it more real to me or something. So a little disappointed in that, but otherwise, yeah, there's cool games. Nothing super crazy new like I'd been hoping for. In fact, a lot of it seemed really like conservative to me.
What about that sculpting stuff?
That's cool,
That's
yeah.
like the
That's like
one
ZBrush with a Move controller, right?
Mhm.
Like that seems really cool. But again, that just seems like an application that they're going to put into one of their future games, as opposed to something that stands on its own. Although who knows, maybe it can stand on its own. The way it worked that way, but yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm excited to see more.
Yeah, I think E3 is going to be pretty interesting. Well, thanks for joining us for this special Invisible Walls, and again, we'll have another one for you guys tomorrow.